Welcome, weary traveler, to a quiet journey through the echoes of the past. As the day fades and the world outside softens, we invite you to settle in, to let the gentle hum of history lull you into a state of calm. Tonight, we turn our gaze to the formidable power of ancient Rome, a civilization that shaped much of the world we know, yet one whose everyday existence often remains shrouded in the grand narratives of emperors and conquests. We will not chase thrilling battles or sensationalized scandals, but rather explore the steady rhythms of Roman life, the often overlooked details that paint a more complete picture. We'll delve into the challenging existence of those who formed the backbone of its might, peer into the struggles of a figure who dared to defy its power, cover the enduring secrets of its engineering genius, and finally cast a gentle light on the contrasting world of its elite. So, breathe deeply, relax your mind, and prepare to drift into the quiet depths of Roman history. Imagine, if you will, a life far removed from the comforts of your own. Imagine a world where your very existence was defined by discipline, endurance, and the constant threat of the sword. We are stepping back in time, not to the marble halls of the Senate, but to the dusty, arduous path of a Roman leader. To truly understand the might of Rome, you must first understand the men who built its empire, one grueling march and one fortified camp at a time. Your journey into this demanding life would begin not with a choice, but often with a decree, or perhaps a desperate need for a steady, albeit meager wage. Recruitment into the legions was a stark entry into a new reality. Forget the romanticized images of gleaming armor. Your early days would be filled with relentless bone-aching training. Imagine the sting of coarse wool against your skin as you begin your drills. A newly forged recruit, perhaps no more than 18 years old. The very first lesson would be you would learn to march, not for miles, but for tens of miles a day, burdened by a pack weighing close to 60 pounds. This wasn't a leisurely stroll. This was forced pace, day after day. Summer heat that shimmered off the dusty roads and winter chills that seeped into your very bones. On your back, you'd carry your armor, your shield, your weapons. Alongside a saw, a basket, a pickaxe, a chain, rations for several days, and even spare tools. Every single item had a purpose, and every single item contributed to the constant ache in your shoulders and legs. Then came the weapon drills. You wouldn't just learn to wield a sword. You'd learn to wield it as part of a single synchronized unit. Imagine the dull thud of wooden swords hitting straw targets, the rhythmic clang of spear practice. All under the watchful, unyielding gaze of your centurion. Precision was paramount, for a mistake in battle could mean not only your own life, but the lives of those beside you. And beyond the weapons, you would learn the vital art of digging. Every evening, no matter where the march ended, a temporary camp, a castra, had to be built. This meant digging a ditch, building a rampart, and erecting sturdy tents. This wasn't simply setting up shelter. It was transforming a patch of wilderness into a defensible fortress, a constant, weary ritual. Now, let's settle into the rhythm of a typical day within this temporary camp. The air would be thick with the scent of damp earth, wood smoke, and unwashed Your living space would be a cramped canvas tent, shared with 7 other leaders. Privacy was a forgotten luxury. Your cot, a simple bedroll, would be your only personal sanctuary, offering little respite from the constant presence of your comrades. The sounds of the camp would be your constant companion. The distant thud of sentries marching, the low murmur of conversation, occasional whinny of a horse, and the omnipresent buzz of flies. Meals were not a culinary delight. Your diet would be bland, repetitive, and designed for sustenance, not pleasure. Imagine the coarse texture of hardtack, a dense biscuit made of grain and water, often dry and difficult to swallow. Your main meal might be gruel, a thin porridge, or perhaps some lentils and cured meat, if you were fortunate. Water, often drawn from local sources, would be constantly on your mind, rationed carefully, and often unpleasantly warm or muddy. The threat of disease was a constant, unseen enemy. Cramped conditions, poor sanitation, and contaminated water meant that a simple cough could quickly escalate into a fatal illness, sweeping through the ranks with chilling speed. The military hospitals, though rudimentary, were often overwhelmed, and survival depended as much on luck as on constitution. But the true test of a legionary's resolve came on campaign. The march itself, as we discussed, was arduous, but the constant anticipation of danger was perhaps even more draining. Imagine walking for hours, the sun beating down, your armor growing heavier with each step, your senses heightened, constantly scanning the tree line, the hills, the shadows. Every rustle in the bushes, every distant sound could signal an ambush. The discipline enforced by the centurions was brutal, yet essential. Flogging, decimation, and other severe punishments were not uncommon. Fear of the enemy was often matched by a healthy fear of your own commanders. And beneath the layers of hardened leather and stoic discipline lay the profound psychological toll. Imagine the constant fear of death, not just in battle, but from disease, from accident, from starvation. The separation from your family, from the life you once knew, would be a constant ache. Letters were rare, news slower still, and the prospect of returning home, a distant, often elusive dream. Many legionaries served for 20 to 25 years, a lifetime for many. To survive this existence, to endure the mud, the marshes, the misery, required a profound mental resilience, a stoic acceptance of your fate, and an unshakable adherence to the legion's demanding rhythm. This was the unseen burden, the silent struggle that defined the life of a Roman legionary. From the regimented, often anonymous life of a legionary, we gently shift our focus to a singular figure. A man whose name still echoes through history as a symbol of defiance and the yearning for freedom. This is the story of Spartacus, not just a gladiator, but a leader whose rebellion shook the very foundations of Roman power. His narrative is one of extraordinary struggle, fleeting triumph, and ultimately tragic end, offering a poignant counterpoint to the disciplined might of the Roman state. Our journey with Spartacus begins not in the grandeur of Rome, but in the grim, brutal world of the gladiatorial training schools. Imagine the stench of sweat and blood, the constant clang of steel, the desperate faces of men forced to fight for entertainment. Spartacus himself was likely a Thracian, a warrior from a fierce tribal people, possibly captured in battle and sold into slavery. His early life would have been defined by subjugation, his spirit likely chafing under the Roman yoke. He would have trained in Capua, at the gladiatorial school of Lentulus Batiatus, alongside other enslaved men, cooning their bodies into instruments of combat, destined for bloody spectacles. But within this arena of forced entertainment, a spark ignited. In 73 BCE, Spartacus, along with around 70 fellow gladiators, seized a moment of opportunity. Imagine the desperate, chaotic energy of that escape. A sudden rush. The clatter of dropped weapons. The desperate scramble for freedom. They armed themselves with kitchen utensils and what weapons they could scavenge, fighting their way out of the school. This small band, fueled by a burning desire for liberty, sought refuge on the slopes of Mount Vesuvius, a towering, silent sentinel overlooking the fertile Campanian plain. It was here, amongst the rugged terrain, that their numbers swelled. Word of their daring escape spread like wildfire among the enslaved populations across Italy. Men and women, desperate for liberation, flocked to their banner, transforming a small gladiatorial revolt into a formidable, growing army. Good. Early skirmishes against hastily assembled Roman forces saw surprising victories for the rebels. Bah! A testament to their ferocity and Spartacus's emerging tactical genius. Quid! With each victory, the rebel army grew, its ranks swelling to an estimated 70,000 to 120,000 people at its peak. Spartacus, recognized for his leadership and strategic acumen, made a crucial decision: to march north. His apparent goal was to lead his people out of Italy, over the Alps, and back to their homelands and freedom. Coup. Imagine the sheer logistical challenge of moving such a vast... God! This Sparta multitude, not a disciplined army, but a desperate collection of former slaves, men, women, and children. Across the Roman countryside, they faced not only the elements but also the constant threat of Roman pursuit. Das march was fraught with internal conflicts. While many desired freedom, some, emboldened by their victories, sought revenge and plunder. There were divisions within the leadership, with Spartacus often advocating for escape, while others, like Crixus, preferred to raid and fight within Italy. Cool. These internal tensions weakened the rebellion, preventing a unified strategy against the growing Roman response. The Roman Senate, initially dismissive, grew increasingly alarmed. Good. They dispatched consular armies. Then finally, the formidable forces of Marcus Licinius Crassus, a wealthy and ambitious general, who aimed to crush the rebellion definitively. Imagine the relentless pursuit, the constant pressure of Crassus's legions closing in, forcing Spartacus to change course, to double back, ever seeking an elusive path to liberty. End of the dream came in 71 BCE, trapped in the southern reaches of Italy, perhaps attempting to cross to Sicily. Spartacus's forces found themselves cornered by Crassus's legions. The final battles were desperate, brutal affairs. Imagine the sheer scale of the conflict, the clash of thousands of desperate, freedom-seeking individuals against the organized, professional Roman war machine. Despite their courage and the ferocity born of desperation, the sheer numerical and tactical superiority of the Romans began to tell. The climax was swift and devastating. Spartacus, ever the warrior, reportedly sought out Crassus himself in the thick of battle, a desperate, final act of defiance. While his body was never recovered, likely lost amidst the carnage, the rebellion was utterly crushed. Then, as a grim, chilling warning to any who might consider further revolt, Crassus ordered the crucifixion of 6,000 captured rebels along the Appian Way, stretching 4 miles from Capua to Rome. Imagine the chilling spectacle, the silent, stark message etched into the Roman landscape. The rebellion of Spartacus, though ultimately unsuccessful, remains a powerful testament to the human spirit's enduring quest for freedom. A shadow cast across the might of Rome. A dream that, though ended, was never entirely forgotten. From the struggles of men and the clash of empires, we now turn our attention to the silent, burring marvels that still punctuate the landscape of the former Roman world. We speak of the colossal structures, The aqueducts gracefully spanning valleys. Gun. The roads stretching across continents, and the majestic domes that seem to defy the very laws of time. These are the testament to the ingenuity of Roman engineering, and at the heart of their endurance lies a fascinating secret. The lost art of Roman concrete. Imagine standing beneath the vast, unadorned dome of the Pantheon in Rome. Its sheer scale is breathtaking. Good. A testament to architectural ambition. Yet, what is truly astonishing is its age. For nearly 2 millennia, this massive concrete dome could, still the largest unreinforced concrete dome in the world, has stood firm against the elements, against earthquakes, and against the relentless march of time. Picture the sinuous lines of the Ponte du Gard, an aqueduct in southern France. Its tiered arches still delivering water, just as they did 2,000 years ago. Or consider the intricate network of Roman roads, some of which still form the basis of modern highways, their foundations unyielding. These structures are not merely ruins. They are living testaments to a material and a technique that we could, with all our modern advancements, are only now beginning to fully comprehend. Gah! The secret ingredient, the very essence of Roman concrete's unparalleled durability, lies in its unique composition. It was not simply a mix of aggregate and binder as we understand modern concrete. The Romans made a crucial addition. Volcanic ash. Specifically, a type known as pozzolana, named after the town of Pozzolan, near Naples. Imagine this fine, dust-like substance collected from volcanic deposits being meticulously blended with lime and crushed rock. The magic of pozzolana lay in its ability to react chemically with water and lime, forming incredibly stable calcium silicate hydrate compounds. But here is the truly fascinating part. This reaction continued over long periods, making the concrete stronger over decades, even centuries. Crucially, the Romans also mastered the use of this concrete in challenging environments. Imagine the sheer audacity of building massive harbor walls and underwater breakwaters that could withstand the relentless pounding of the sea. Modern concrete, when exposed to salt water, often degrades over time. Roman concrete, however, when mixed with seawater, seemed to gain strength. This was due to further chemical reactions between the volcanic ash lime and the salts present in the ocean, creating a material that was not only robust but seemingly self-healing, able to resist cracking and decay in ways that mystify modern engineers. Reconstructing these ancient techniques has become a fascinating endeavor for modern archaeologists and materials scientists. Imagine the painstaking work, analyzing samples of ancient Roman concrete under powerful microscopes, identifying the mineral compositions, and piecing together the precise ratios of ingredients. Early archaeological efforts involved examining the layered construction within Roman walls, understanding how they would build wooden forms, poured the concrete, and then often faced the structure with brick or stone for aesthetic purposes. The Romans used a method known as opus chem, where rubble and lime pozzolana mortars were layered, often with facing materials. Scholars have theorized about the exact mixing process, the temperatures involved, and the curing times. Did they mix it by hand? Were there specialized tools? The answers are often elusive, derived from indirect evidence and educated hypotheses. Imagine laboratories today attempting to recreate the Roman mix, carefully controlling variables, only to find that replicating the millennial-long curing process and specific. Geological conditions of Roman quarries is a monumental challenge. Very impurities or specific volcanic compositions of Roman aggregates may have played a crucial role in its longevity. The implications of understanding Roman concrete are profound. Imagine cities built with materials that last for centuries, rather than decades. Attempts to replicate Roman concrete are underway, driven by the desire to create more sustainable and durable infrastructure. Researchers are experimenting with various forms of volcanic ash and other natural materials, trying to unlock the full spectrum of its properties. Yet, many puzzles remain unsolved. Good. The precise methods of quality control. The specific types of lime used in different regions. And the long-term chemical interactions within the ancient material continue to be subjects of intense study and debate. The lost art of Roman concrete is more than just a historical curiosity. It is a testament to the sophisticated understanding of materials science that existed to millennia ago. A quiet reminder that sometimes the answers to our modern challenges may lie hidden in the enduring wonders of the past. Its silent strength continues to stand, inviting contemplation on the passage of time and the remarkable ingenuity of human hands. Having explored the arduous life of the Legionary, the defiant struggle of a slave rebel, and the enduring strength of Roman engineering, we now gently pivot to a very different facet of Roman society. Imagine a world of privilege and power, a life bathed in the soft glow of ambition and draped in luxurious fabrics. We are stepping into the daily routine of a Roman senator, a member of Rome's elite, whose existence contrasted sharply with the struggles of the common citizen. This segment offers a glimpse into the indulgence, the intricate social dance, and the ever-present intrigue that defined their waking hours. Let us begin with the morning rituals of a Roman senator. Picture yourself waking not to the rough canvas of a tent or the cramped confines of a tenement, but within a spacious frescoed villa, perhaps overlooking the bustling forum or a serene garden. The air would be filled with the subtle scent of perfumed oils and the quiet movements of household slaves. Your day would begin not with hard labor, but with an elaborate process of dressing, where fine linen tunics and the distinctive, voluminous toga garment reserved for Roman citizens of standing would be meticulously draped by attentive servants. The very act of wearing the toga was a declaration of status and power. Following this personal preparation, the senator's villa would come alive with the sounds of the salutatio, the morning reception of clients. Imagine a steady stream of lesser citizens, freedmen, and even struggling plebeians arriving at your atrium, seeking patronage, legal advice, or simply a show of respect. As a senator, you were a patron, a powerful figure whose influence could open doors, secure favors, or provide financial assistance. This ritual was not merely social, it was a fundamental pillar of Roman society, solidifying power structures and creating a vast network of dependencies. You would listen, advise, and dispense favors, all while projecting an aura of dignified authority. After the morning's obligations, your attention would turn to public life and politics. Imagine the short, deliberate walk from your villa to the Curia, the Senate House, a building that echoed with centuries of debate and decision. Here, among your peers, the true complexities of Roman politics would unfold. Debates on legislation, foreign policy, military campaigns, and judicial matters would fill the air. The pursuit of power and influence was a constant, subtle game. Alliances were forged and broken with quiet words. Reputations were built and shattered with a single speech. Oratory was a prized skill, and the ability to sway opinion, craft. Compelling arguments was as vital as military prowess for a Roman statesman. You would navigate these treacherous waters with a careful blend of ambition, caution, and strategic alliances, always aware of the precarious balance of power. Gasped. As the afternoon approached, the focus would gently shift towards leisure and entertainment. Though even these pursuits often carried a social or political undercurrent, imagine. The soothing warmth of the Roman bathhouse is not merely places for hygiene, but vibrant social hubs. Here, you would relax in warm pools, engage in philosophical discussions with fellow senators, or simply unwind with a massage. Beyond the baths, the public spectacles offered a different kind of diversion. Picture the thunderous roar of the crowd at the Circus Maximus, watching chariot races, feeling the thrill of the competition. Or imagine the gladiatorial games in the amphitheater, a more brutal form of entertainment, yet one deeply ingrained in Roman culture, serving both as a public spectacle and a demonstration of Roman power and control. Evenings would often culminate in elaborate dinner parties, or imagine reclined on luxurious couches, surrounded by flickering oil lamps. Indulging in exotic foods transported from across the empire, spices from the east, fish from distant seas, and wines from the finest vineyards. Entertainment would often accompany the meal. Musicians, dancers, poets, or even philosophers engaging in learned discourse. These gatherings were not just about pleasure. They were crucial arenas for networking, solidifying alliances, and discreetly discussing political strategies away from the public gaze. Beneath the veneer of opulence and refined leisure lay a darker side to elite life. Imagine the constant undercurrent of suspicion, the whisper of political rivalries that could turn deadly. The pursuit of power in Rome was often a zero-sum game, where the rise of one might mean the downfall of another. Political assassinations, though not daily occurrences, were a stark reality. The threat of poison was a lingering fear, prompting careful consideration of food and drink. Losing favor with the emperor or a powerful faction could lead to exile, confiscation of property, or even a forced suicide. A grim and ever-present possibility. The stakes were incredibly high, and the world of the Roman aristocracy, for all its luxury, was one defined by constant vigilance and a profound awareness of the precariousness of their elevated position. It was a life of indulgence, yes, but also one shadowed by intrigue, where every social interaction carried weight, and every political misstep could be disastrous. Conclusion? As the echoes of the Roman world begin to fade and the last whispers of its grandeur and its gritty realities settle into silence, we hope this journey through its varied landscapes has offered you a gentle descent into repose. We have walked the arduous path of the Legionary, felt the dust and heard the clang of battle, the profound endurance required to serve the Empire. We then witnessed the fiery, yet ultimately tragic, dream of Spartacus, a reminder of the enduring human yearning for freedom against overwhelming odds. From the struggles of men, we turn to the silent strength of Roman ingenuity, marveling at the lost art of concrete that allowed structures to defy the passage of millennia, a testament to a deep, intuitive understanding of the natural world. Finally, we stepped into the opulent, yet often politically fraught, existence of the Roman elite, a life defined by ritual, ambition, and the subtle dance of power. But each facet of this ancient world, from the toil of its common people to the lavish lives of its leaders, offers a unique perspective on the human condition. As these images softly recede, allow the gentle current of history to carry you further into the quietude of the night. May the distant rumble of Roman legions, the echoes of their engineering, and the murmurs of their ancient senate now blend into a calming hum, guiding you peacefully toward the embrace of restful sleep. Good night.